The key clicks into the lock at 7:43 p.m. The door swings open, and the entire emotional ecosystem of the household, which has been running on a stable, predictable Linnaeus all day, immediately crashes. Puvy, you're Ethan. You've just logged a 12-hour day. Your brain is a browser with 47 tabs open, 3 of which are frozen. You've navigated quarterly projections, soothed a major client's ego, and survived a commute that felt like a post-apocalyptic video game level. You are home. This is the finish line, the victory lap. Cue the soundtrack of your triumph, a single, sharp inhale from the living room, followed by a seismic wail that could shatter glass. Your son, Milo, who has been, according to the detailed report texted by your wife, Lina, a perfect angel, ate all his peas and napped like a champ. The moment he locks eyes with you, it's as if you personally canceled all cartoons and recalled every stuffy on the planet. Your brain's internal monologue, already running on fumes, short circuits. Error 4040, logic not found. Lina shoots you a look. It's not a Karen look. It's more advanced. It's the wary, silent transmission of a co-CEO who has just managed a delicate, high-value asset all day, only to watch its valuation plummet the sec. She's been the steady hand on the tiller, the consistent code. You're the system update that causes the blue screen of death. He was fine literally 2 seconds ago. She says, the word literally, doing heavy lifting. And here's the gut punch, the moment every working parent knows. The guilt. It's not a slow burn, it's a flash flood. It drowns out the fatigue. What did I do wrong? Is it because I'm gone so much? Does he not like me? Am I the problem? Let's freeze this frame. Let's analyze this not as a parenting fail, but as a classic, high-stakes business scenario. You have a product, Milo. You have a primary customer service manager, Lina, who has maintained perfect product satisfaction metrics, all-day high engagement, 0 complaints. Then, the CEO you makes a site visit. The product immediately malfunctions. The metrics tank. The instinctive, emotional analysis is a disaster narrative. The CEO is the problem. His presence is a bug. But what if we're reading the data all wrong? Think of the biggest, most stable companies in the world. Apple, Toyota, Berkshire Hathaway. Their stock doesn't wildly swing on good news alone. It's stable because the foundation is secure. The real volatility, the panic selling, happens when there's a breach of trust, when the core promise is broken. Now, rewind the tape. Milo's day with Lina is predictable. It's a well-managed, low-volatility fund. The rules are clear. The returns are consistent. He knows the playbook. You walking in, that's not a bug. That's a major market event. You are the variable he cannot control. You are the exciting, high-yield, high-risk investment he is emotionally all in on. All day, he's been operating in a safe, bond-like environment. Your return is the Nasdaq shooting up 5% at the open. The emotional surge is overwhelming. The tears aren't a sell-off. They're a liquidity event. He's been holding it together, managing his emotional capital, all day. Seeing you is the signal that he can finally cash out. He can convert all that accumulated composure into its raw, unfiltered currency need. He's dumping the entire emotional portfolio into your arms because you are the only exchange he trusts with that volume. We see this in startups all the time. The first employee who sticks with you through the brutal, cash-strapped early days, They don't break down when things are falling apart. They're in fight mode. They break down. They really lose it. When you finally secure the series of funding, the pressure valve releases. The safe person, the investor, the leader who finally delivered is present, and the floodgates open. It's not a sign of a bad company, it's the ultimate sign of deep, seated trust and pent-up reliance. Your guilt, Ethan, is like a founder misinterpreting a key employee's tears of relief as regret for joining the mission. You're seeing a failure to perform, when in reality, you're witnessing the performance of a secure attachment bond. Lina provided the operational stability, the essential infrastructure. You provide the strategic vision and the emotional venture capital. Milo's meltdown is his way of presenting his quarterly emotional report directly to the CEO. It's messy. It's raw. It's absolutely terrible optics in the moment. But it is profoundly honest data. So you stand there, briefcase in hand, suit jacket feeling like a costume, as your son's cries fill the hallway. The easy narrative is the one that gaslights you into feeling like an absentee landlord in your own home. But what if this tearful reunion is not a sign of failure, but the very foundation of a secure bond? Let's cut the emotional noise and look at the data. The scene is this: Ethan walks in, Milo loses it. The POV from the couch is that Ethan is the problem. But what if we're not just misreading the data, we're ignoring the entire underlying operating system? This is where we go from market analogy to hard science. We're talking about the human firmware attachment theory. Think of it like this. In 1958, psychologist Harry Harlow ran a brutal but groundbreaking experiment with baby rhesus monkeys. He gave them a choice: a wire mother that dispensed milk, or a soft cloth mother that offered no food but was warm and cuddly. Every single time, when scared, the babies ran to the cloth mother, not the food source, the comfort source. The data was undeniable: attachment isn't about being fed, it's about feeling safe. Fast forward to your living room. Lina is the wire mother. Efficient, reliable, meets all operational KPIs: nutrition, naps, playtime. She's the flawless COO. Milo's engagement metrics are through the roof. Zero complaints. You, Ethan, you're the cloth mother. You are the safe harbor in a storm he didn't even know was brewing. Your return isn't a system crash. It's the system executing its most critical protocol: stress discharge. Here's the biological P&L statement. All day, Milo's tiny adrenal system has been managing micro stresses. A toy that won't fit. A sock that feels weird. The frustration of not being able to reach something. These are small, but they generate cortisol, the stress hormone. With Lina, his secure base, he manages it. He contains it. He's a startup founder in the grind phase, burning midnight oil, but keeping it together because the pressure is diffuse. Then you walk in. The CEO is back. The board meeting is over. The pressure valve has a target. The meltdown is a controlled demolition of that accumulated cortisol. The tears, the snot, the incoherent babbling. This isn't a failure. This is a liquidity event for pent-up emotional capital. He's cashing out his stress bonds, and you are the only exchange with the credibility to handle the trade. We see this in scaling companies all the time. Look at the early days of Airbnb. In 2009, they were literally selling cereal boxes to survive. The team was in constant, low-grade panic. But the real, gut-wrenching tears from co-founder Joe Gebbia. He recounts they didn't happen during the worst of it. They happened later, during a moment of respite, when a mentor showed genuine belief. The safe person arrived, and the floodgates of held, together composure burst open. That wasn't a sign of a weak company, it was proof of a deeply committed team. So let's reframe Milo's performance review. His key metric isn't cries per day. It's secure base utilization. The science gets even more fascinating. This reunion triggers a silent, biochemical handshake. When you pick him up, when you hold him through the storm, your body and his aren't just sharing a hug, they're conducting a high-stakes hormonal exchange. Your calm or your forced calm begins to regulate his chaos. Your steady heartbeat becomes a metronome for his frantic one. This interaction, this messy, snotty, tearful interaction, triggers the release of oxytocin in both of you. The bonding hormone, the trust molecule. In business terms, this is the equity grant that vests in real time. It's the stock option of human connection, and it's being awarded on the spot for showing up. This is the brain building mechanism. Neuroscientists call this co-regulation. A child's brain, especially the prefrontal cortex responsible for emotional control, is under construction. It's a startup with a brilliant idea but no CFO. You are the external CFO. By absorbing his emotional volatility and returning calm, you are literally helping wire his brain for future self-regulation. You're not just calming a toddler, you're running the beta test for his future emotional operating system. Every time you do this, you're adding a line of code to his resilient software. Consider the corporate parallel. When Satya Nadella took over Microsoft in 2014, the company was seen as a stagnant, internally competitive, know-it-all culture. His first, radical move wasn't a product pivot, it was a cultural one. He championed empathy. He talked about creating a safe space for failure and learning. He became the organizational safe base. The result: Microsoft's market cap soared from around 300 billion to over 2,000 trillion. The secure attachment between leadership and employees unlocked unprecedented innovation. The tears of frustration from engineers could finally be heard, not as complaints, but as data points for a better system. That's what's happening in your hallway. Milo is your most vulnerable, honest employee. He's giving you the rawest form of user feedback possible. He's showing you where the real emotional debt lies. So, Ethan, you're standing there. The guilt narrative is the easy one. It's the gaslighting your own brain does, because you've been culturally programmed to see tears as a failure metric. But the data tells a different story: the cortisol dump, the oxytocin exchange, the neural pathway construction. This isn't a bug report. This is a system update installing. And the cliffhanger for the next phase? The science reveals the final, hidden ROI. This hormonal dance, this secure attachment loop, doesn't just calm him for tonight. It builds the foundational architecture for his future relationships, his risk assessment, his very ability to love and be loved. It's the ultimate long-term investment with compounding emotional returns. The reunion is the trigger, but the exchange is everything. So Ethan does it. He picks up Milo. He holds him through the snot and the shuddering breaths. He doesn't try to fix it. He just contains it. And here's the silent deal that gets signed in that moment. Your response, Ethan's response, doesn't just calm the storm. It sinks the servers. Think of it like this. You know that feeling when your team finally gets on the same page. When the marketing deck, the engineering sprint, and the sales pipeline all click. That's a biochemical alignment. For Ethan and Milo, it's oxytocin. That bonding hormone we talked about, it's not a solo act, it's a duet. When Ethan responds with calm, his oxytocin levels rise. Milo's nervous system, reading that safety signal, starts pumping it out too. Their hormonal charts start to mirror each other. This isn't just a hug, it's a real, time merger of two emotional balance sheets. And the asset being traded is pure, unvarnished trust. The science on this is brutal and beautiful. It's called the still face experiment. POV: a mom is playing with her baby, all smiles and coos. Then, on cue, she turns her face into a blank, emotionless mask. She's there, but she's gone. The baby tries everything. Smiling, pointing, babbling. When nothing works, the baby collapses. It doesn't just cry. It shuts down. It's a total system failure. Then, the repair. The mom breaks the mask. She re-engages. She smiles, she touches, she speaks. And the baby recovers. The tears stop. The connection resyncs. The lesson isn't that you have to be perfect. The lesson is in the repair. The breakdown is inevitable. The reboot is everything. That experiment is the ultimate startup parable. Your product will crash. Your servers will go down. Your launch will flop. The metric that determines your long-term valuation isn't uptime. It's mean time to recovery. How fast can you diagnose the bug, communicate with your users, and get the system back online? That's the skill. For Ethan, the still face was his long day away. The repair is the messy, tear-soaked reunion in the hallway. That's where the real code gets written. This is the architecture of secure attachment. It's built brick by brick, not from never failing, but from reliably responding. It's the ultimate predictive algorithm. Decades of longitudinal studies, the kind that follow people from crib to career, show one thing with terrifying clarity: a history of reliable emotiona, better stress management, healthier relationships, higher risk tolerance. It's the emotional equivalent of compound interest. You're not just solving for today's meltdown. You're funding his 401k for emotional stability. Let's talk corporate DNA. Look at any company that survived a near-death experience and came back stronger. Apple, 1997. Steve Jobs returns to a company 90 days from bankruptcy. The product line was a confusing mess. The brand was a joke. The still face was in full effect. Jobs' first move, he didn't just launch a new product. He launched a new narrative. Think different. He re-engaged the core user base, the creatives, the rebels, the people who felt abandoned. He acknowledged the failure and painted a picture of the repair. He became the reliable, responding parent to Apple's scattered child. The result: a cultural and financial turnaround so legendary it's textbook. The secure base he re-established allowed for insane risks. The iMac, the iPod, the iPhone. The trust was rebuilt and innovation exploded. That's your hallway, Ethan. You are the returning CEO. Milo is your most loyal, most vulnerable stakeholder. His tears are the shareholder meeting, where everyone is screaming the truth you've been avoiding. So we land the plane. The guilt narrative. Total gaslighting. A cultural Karen in your head telling you you're doing it wrong. Mute her. The data-driven, boardroom truth is this: Milo's tearful welcome isn't a problem to solve. It's a powerful invitation to connect. It's the system sending a ping, and your response is the heartbeat that confirms the network is live. Every time you hold him through it, you are not just a dad calming his son. You are the founder and the early investor. You are writing the code for his emotional operating system. You are vesting equity in a partnership that will outlast every startup, every market cycle, every trend. You are building an invisible bond that becomes his internal safe base for life. The place he'll mentally return to before a big pitch, after a heartburn. The final ROI, it's not measured in quiet evenings. It's measured in a man, decades from now, who knows how to love deeply, fail gracefully, and get back up. Because the first and most important connectee, the experiment is over, the mask is off, the repair is complete. Now go build an empire.